Hello everybody, welcome back to the Bird Not Bot YouTube channel. You saw in the last video that we finished up the IP beam to take it back to Adam. So we're going to do that right now. You might hear in my voice that I'm a little short on breath. I'm getting over a sickness. I was really sick for a few days. So talking might be a little weird in this video, but we're going to take this back to Adam. We're going to take this back to Adam and he's going to put it back in the truck, and I think he's confirming the location of the doghouse that he built. So let's get this thing wrapped up and get it out there to him.
So if you think what we've done up until now is redneck, this is going to take the cake. Sick.
Alright, so we got everything loaded up. Let's take it back over to Adam's, stick it in this truck, and pray everything fits. Those of you that watch the channel, I wouldn't say religiously, but a lot, or know me, might know that I love a good Honda product. Case in point. But this here Honda product has been the one that has meant the most to me over time. And if you remember in the other video, we got a little bit of a corrosion issue going on in this puppy. Unfortunately, because this thing has been one of the best purchases I've ever made. Albeit not a real truck, it has been a very good one. Anyway, I bought this, and we'll talk about this a little more kind of later on, mainly because I can't speak right now, but I did buy a Ram 1500 Bighorn. I'm hoping this is as good of a financial investment as the Ridgeline was for me. Time will tell. We'll make a video about this thing later because it is pretty cool. It's got some bells and whistles on it that I really like, and I think it'll be useful for us moving forward, especially if I ever get that thing done and we start racing it. But yeah, it's a pretty nice truck. I like it. So let's drive it over to Adam's now and get this dash back to him. All right. Let's take this in first, and then we'll come back for the dash. Okay, come over without saying hi to Max. Hi, Max. So you saw Adam and I kind of stuff this thing back in here. Crazy how different that install is than today, because we got it in and then the last step is to just kind of send it home. That would never fly in today's world, but that's how it was back in 1975. Then Adam wanted to check that his doghouse cleared. That super cool, like really nice center console that's in there. Everything clears super nicely. We've got a lot of space back behind it to put the anteater controller for the transmission, so that's where we're going to put that stuff, because the top of that doghouse is removable. But otherwise, let's pop over to the other side and take a look at the wire. The other thing is, I know you've been listening to me talk about how in order to work on this thing at all, you need to take the Combi meter out. Let's try that now. Seven screws. Then when you take the Combi meter out, that length of harness will come with it. And you take that out, and bam, you have access to all of the IP1 connectors. They are not mounted just yet. And all of the stereo connectors. Now, of course, the highest amperage wire in the entire system on my middle finger back there is the only one touching any metal, so that's perfect. We'll have to tether those back a little bit and we'll figure that out. This is the Combi meter connector that just flopped. Everything else looks good. I might request him to cut this section of the center console down a little bit just to keep it away from, this is the other highest power wire in the entire system, which is the wiper feed. So if we can cut that down to get it away from this piece of metal, there's about 10 mils of clearance in there, so it'd be fine, but just to be sure, we might cut that down a little bit. He's got a little bit of work to do on the pedal box currently. We got to clearance it. He's got it marked to make room for the lighting switch there. But otherwise, the ignition switch is completely clear of anything, which is good. Those are really low current wires. That'll all just be 3 amp because that's a control switch now, not a power switch. Nothing bad would happen if that grounded out, other than the fact that the truck might just turn off because it'd blow the fuse. But I think the way we need to get these warm, they're really cold right now, so they're fighting me quite a bit. But for that to sit in there like that looks fantastic. So we need to put a riv nut right here to bolt this down, and then a riv stud or another riv nut. We could do either for the ground. So that looks really nice. And then Adam made this Doghouse. It looks great. He made it so that if you take the dash out, you can take this panel off the top to service the engine, which is also made nicer by the fact that if you have to take the dash out, all you have to do is unhook these connectors rather than cut a bunch of wires or like disconnect them here. So now everything's indexed. So if you take those out, they only go back one way. So it takes all the guesswork out of it and just makes this a more clean, easier to work on system. I'm designing this to kind of be able to be worked on. It shouldn't have to be, but if it needs to be, it should be easier to deal with. So that concludes the IP for the most part. A couple little things we got to do there, but we're pretty much done talking about that at this point. Now the next step, the biggest one, is the firewall harness. So it genuinely starts at the fuse box. We're gonna get Adam a fuse box and let him put it wherever he wants it. He still wants it somewhere in the area outside of that gigantic grommet hole. So the firewall harness will actually start at that fuse box, and then it will come through that hole and will run to things like the dome light, power and ground. There will be a fuse box over here somewhere, either mounted to the Doghouse or mounted to the pedal box, probably the Doghouse. And then it'll have all the wires coming to IP1 here, which again, that name is going to change here soon. And then all the wires running across, it'll have the speaker wires for that speaker, the 2 rear speakers that don't exist but could. It will have the HVAC and maybe if there's a light in the glove box. I'm not really sure what we're doing about that glove box because currently, the way this thing sits, there is no glove box. It's the HVAC box. So maybe no light there, but it'll have everything for the interior of the truck running side to side, but it also is going to have every wire for the front and rear of the truck coming through that grommet. So we'll have the wiper motor, and there's like a heater water valve out here that we will actually not have run through that hole. It will meet a harness and run across with the wiper. And then things like the ride height sensor for over here, the ride height sensor for over there, and then everything from the front chassis will meet it as well. And then anything from the engine that needs to go to the Combi meter will meet it down in that area there. Ran out of breath during that explanation. Sickness is killing me. Anyway, I think that wraps it up for us out here. So let's head back to the wiring studio and get it ready for a lot more wire to be coming out of that thing and coming home with us. Just come up here to make sure everything's going all right. Come here. Come here. Come here, little man. Yeah, good boy. Oh, hey, come here. I wasn't done saying hi yet. You're like a shark. You just can't stop moving. I also saw these big meaty beasts up here. I'm thinking I might need a set of those for the new whip. Sponsor me.